Welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News for Friday, September 26th. Grant Olson is away tonight. I'm Jefferson Robbins. The news has refused to stop happening this week, as you can tell by the smoke just outside our window here. Here's a quick look at the stories we have coming up. Accused triple murderer Travis Decker is dead, and Chelan County authorities, in part, are crediting the discovery of his remains to intervention from a police psychologist. Even so, the cause of Decker's death after the murder of his 3 children may never be known. The suspect in some repeated arson incidents around Wenatchee has again pleaded guilty to recklessly starting a fire. Prosecutors say next time they won't be so lenient. In weather, any opportunity to see the sky again from the Wenatchee Valley may have to wait. High pressure is pushing that wildfire smoke down to the ground, and conditions this afternoon have been deeply unhealthy for those venturing outside without protection. That's led to events including tonight's Moses Lake at Wenatchee football game to be put on pause or relocated. That game will happen in Moses Lake instead of here in Wenatchee. Dan Kuntz will be along later on to talk about our chances for a new weather system to push this smoke out of the picture. First, our top story tonight. 40-mile-an-hour winds pushed north-central Washington's huge twin wildfires beyond some of their boundaries on Thursday and put residents in the Wenatchee Valley and Blewett Pass on high alert. The Lower Sugarloaf fire grew by an estimated 4,000 acres to about 34,695 acres at last count, pushing spot fires south and east beyond containment lines, although most were controlled by firefighters. But containment broke on the southern corner in the Swakan Creek area, putting Naham Canyon, Warner Canyon, and most of Birch Mountain into Level 3 evacuation conditions. Areas of Sunny Slope were warned to prepare with Level 1 and 2 evacuation notices. The Entiat Valley region near Ferris also remains on Level 3. At the Labor Mountain Fire burning west of Wenatchee, the communities of Ingalls Creek and Valley High were urged to evacuate as flames jumped across Highway 97, which will remain closed through the weekend due to fire activity. The Camas Meadows area is likewise on Level 3, with the fire reaching about 25,300 acres. Incident Commander Tim Sexton, overseeing both fires, outlined the situation this morning in an address to his crew.
Yesterday, you all know we experienced a lot of wind with the frontal passage, and the fire has moved out of containment lines in Sugarloaf, both in the southeast and southwest, substantially, and on Labor Mountain has crossed 97, and another spot fire over by Division Charlie near Beverly Creek. So we have a lot of work to do to corral that fire where it's moved out from our containment lines. I know you folks are up for it, but today is a day of regrouping, determining your work locations, finding good places to start containing the fire, and get about the business of securing it.
A statewide mobilization was activated last night at the request of Chief Andy Lee of Chelan County Fire District 6. The mobilization allows outside fire agencies to send teams and equipment to help with the Lower Sugarloaf fire under state coordination. The Sugarloaf incident was also approved today for emergency disaster funds from FEMA. That's based on the threat it poses to communities around Kashmir and Wenatchee, as well as to electrical infrastructure. Both fires began as the result of lightning strikes on Labor Day and have been burning steadily in the backcountry ever since. Fire managers plan a community informational meeting on Saturday, although at this point, the time and place have yet to be determined. On Thursday, as Chelan County Sheriff Mike Morrison confirmed the death of accused child murderer Travis Caleb Decker, he gave credit to multiple state, local, and federal agencies who aided in the search. He also singled out a contract psychologist working for the Washington State Patrol, Dr. Stacy Chiquette. She specializes in psychological assistance and profiling for police agencies. Morrison says Chiquette conducted an assessment of Decker's likely mental state in the wake of the Memorial Day murders of his 3 young children, Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia. Her conclusions helped guide police to Grindstone Mountain, a place searchers had targeted for future efforts. That was where Travis Decker's decayed remains were found on September 18th.
Specifically, I'd like to give thanks to operational psychologist Stacy Gutchett and her work and her forensics analysis of Mr. Decker that assisted us in our 4th search, pointed us in the direction of Grindstone Mountain, an area of interest that we wanted to search, and her insight and guidance led us to an important area to search where we did eventually locate Mr. Decker. and she had highlighted an area of interest that was on Grindstone Mountain. She even guesstimated about what elevation we were looking at. We really appreciate her insight. She brought certainly a different perspective than we had received from the FBI or the Marshal Service. But again, we were taking information as we could throughout this investigation. It was rapidly evolving. I think we utilized our resources best as possible. And the last iteration, Washington State Patrol coming in with this contracted operational psychologist certainly gave us a different area to look at, but it was always something that we were going to check next as our search area continued to expand out.
Chelan County Coroner Wayne Harris is responsible for determining the cause and relative time of any unexplained death in his jurisdiction, but he says today, in Travis Decker's case, that may prove impossible. In a press statement, Harris said an autopsy on Travis Decker's remains cannot be conducted. The fragmented skeleton found on Grindstone Mountain was discovered in 5 different locations, several hundred yards apart, and searchers did not find either Decker's cranium or his torso. Harris said those portions might hold a clue to how the wanted murder suspect died. The bones that were recovered show no signs of fractures that would indicate he was killed by a fall. Time, weather, and animal activity meant there was no soft tissue remaining at the site. Harris said, quote, "The greatest hope is now the Decker family and the community can begin to heal." A 51-year-old homeless man pled guilty on Wednesday to first-degree reckless burning for a fire he lit at Hale Park last month. Timothy John Whitney was arrested on August 15th on 3 separate charges: arson, resisting an officer, and trespassing. He has a history of starting fires and was previously convicted of second-degree attempted arson and first-degree reckless burning in April for a blaze that severely damaged the city of Wenatchee stormwater culvert. Whitney was sentenced to 4 months in jail for the most recent conviction. Chelan County prosecutors warned they would offer no further plea deals if he's charged with a fire-related offense in the future. Well, when we come back, a repeat bank robber who tried to knock over a Wenatchee financial institution is headed back to federal confinement. We'll tell you how he was caught and what penalties he's likely to face. I'm Jefferson Robbins, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
There's no place like home. Because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories. And we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier. Total comfort. Totally happy.
Call Alpine Air Heating and Cooling today. Your comfort is their priority.
Central Washington Water understands the power of healing waters. If part of your wellness routine includes hot heat from a sauna, Central Washington Water now carries indoor and outdoor infrared and hot rock saunas by Tilo. Research shows there are many health benefits to a cold plunge after a good workout or relaxing time in your sauna. Harness the power of water in a hot spring spa, plug-and-play spas, a Tilo sauna, or a cold plunge tub. Stop by Central Washington Water, your wellness experts.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. A Manson bank robber who was arrested by East Wenatchee police last week has been ordered back into federal custody, where he's already spent much of his adult life. 42-year-old Cameron Len Gaunt was accused of robbing a Kashmir Valley Bank branch in Wenatchee. He was recognized and captured on September 16th after entering the People's Bank branch in East Wenatchee. Gaunt has a history of bank robbery and has now served 2 terms in federal prison for unarmed holdups in central and western Washington. He was released from prison in July and was on federal probation at the time of his latest arrest. On Wednesday, a magistrate judge in U.S. District Court in Spokane ordered Gaunt transferred back to U.S. Marshals custody to face penalties for his violation. Gaunt had been held in the Spokane County Jail since his arrest. Washington families who pay for health insurance are bracing for a cost increase. Senator Maria Cantwell says thanks to congressional failure to extend health tax credits, premiums on the state's Affordable Care Act marketplace will likely increase an average of 21% next year, almost double the growth from last year. Cantwell's report warns that without action, more than 214,000 Washingtonians who rely on federal tax credits could see their monthly premiums surge. The current rate of premiums in the state for coordinated care is at about 9%. The rate for 2026 could increase to almost 27%. The senator is calling on Congress and the White House to act before open enrollment begins on November 1st. After a long break, the Wenatchee tradition is making a comeback. The annual Salmon Bake is returning to the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center on October 11th from 2 to 4 p.m. Members of the Wenatchee Piscosa tribe, including Elder Randy Lewis, will lead the celebration. The event honors the first salmon feast, one of the Plateau tribe's most significant ceremonies, marking the arrival of salmon to traditional fishing grounds. The blessing ceremony begins at 2 p.m. and is followed by a salmon dinner cooked outdoors over a fire pit. Admission is by donation for museum members. Non-members can attend for $25. Pre-registration is required through the museum's website. Well, coming up in tonight's feature story, a Wenatchee business owner found himself an eyewitness to the Lower Sugarloaf fire as first responders fought to save his property in the Entiat Valley. I'm Jefferson Robbins. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. We'll be right back.
Family roles change with time. You may find yourself being an unpaid caregiver to a loved one. Caregiving can be rewarding, but also stressful. Taking care of yourself is vital. Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington has low or no cost services for unpaid caregivers, such as in-home support, care supplies, and counseling. Connect in your local area by calling Aging and Adult Care at 800-572-4459 and mention you're interested in caregiver support.
School's back, but this is the kind of math we like. Over 100 slices of pepperoni, one giant Abby's pizza feeds up to 6 hungry people. That's A+ value, toppings to the edge. That's been the Abby's way since forever. Now go do your homework. When someone says, bring home the bacon, we know what they mean. They want Abby's legendary Bacon Cheddar Pizza, loaded with country bacon and packed with Canadian bacon. On sale now at abbys.com. This month, bring home the bacon at family-owned Abby's.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Creighton Hilstad, the owner of the Wenatchee Avenue boutique store Henry Harrow Co, lost 10 acres of his property to the Lower Sugarloaf fire on Sunday night. He's one of dozens of landowners who found themselves in the path of the 34,000-acre fire, but protected by skilled firefighting crews. Though a third of his property was damaged, Hilstad told NCWLIFE he's grateful to firefighters for mitigating the damage and saving all the structures at his home on Roaring Creek Road.
About a week ago, we started getting lots of smoke, and we kept getting notifications that the fire was getting closer. We went to a level 1 evacuation, we went to a level 2 evacuation, and then on Sunday this week, we went to a level 3 evacuation. We are just at 30 acres, and we have a home, a barn, a garage, some outbuildings. Sunday was like this beautiful sunny day, and we were not expecting, we thought we were kind of out of the worst of it. And by that afternoon, smoke came in, and all of a sudden we had firefighters coming on the property, like by the dozens. And by that evening, we had about 250 firefighters on the property. The response was pretty amazing. They knew what they were doing. They had a plan. They kept us informed on their plan, and they executed it. They decided that they were going to start backburning to counteract the fire that was coming towards us, to just kind of stop it. They were all about saving the structures. So that was the main thing, is to save the 3 main structures. They did a lot of work with the drones, from lighting the backfires to sensing where the heat spots were, to taking pictures, it was just amazing to watch the drones fly around the top of the property. So we lost, about a third of vegetation on the property. It will all grow back. No structures were harmed, but it was pretty magnificent to kind of witness. We put 100% of trust into them. When they were coming to the property, they were being so courteous and worried about us, and we were like, you guys just do what you have to do. If something gets ran over, something gets broken, it can be fixed, but their focus was to save the structures, to save the land, and to control the fire. That was the main thing. They didn't want the fire to grow any bigger than it was. Right now, the fire has been put at bay, where it's still very active. It's creating a lot of smoke for us. And then we have what we've been told, a little windstorm coming this later today, and that could possibly reignite the fire to grow. So hopefully everything they've done will help it not to grow any further. I haven't been here much for the last week. For the last week, I haven't been here that much. But I have a great team that has been, manning the store and taking care of things here, so I could kind of stay at home and focus on things. I mean, all my neighbors have been amazing. So we have our RV on one of our neighbors' property. That's where we're sleeping at night. We've had a lot of phone calls and people offering assistance to help us get our animals, because there's cows, there's ducks, there's chickens, so we had to evacuate all those animals as well. So we've had amazing support. I have the greatest amount of respect for these young men and women that are working on my property and working all the fires in our area. They are working 14-hour shifts. They are just doing a job that I don't think I could ever do. And respect. And I think they deserve it all for what they're doing.
Hi, everybody. Dan Coons filling in for Grant Olson. Has Friday off. Enjoy your 3-day weekend, Grant. He'll be spending it indoors like a bunch of us. That is the latest shot that we have a couple of hours ago from the Sugarloaf fire. We all know what happened. All those winds came in just as predicted. Dry, cold front came flying in. Relative humidities went bone dry, and those fires, the two local fires, just took right off, as we talked about before. And now we're not out of the smoke woods yet. In fact, we could have a pretty smoky weekend because we're still under the influence of a ridge of high pressure. It's flat. Good news, though. Rain is coming up. Unofficially up at Payneborn today, we topped off at 73, which is just about normal for this time of the year. You notice that, of course, we now have less than 12 hours of daylight. The next time we will be over the 12-hour mark will be St. Patrick's Day, March 17th of next year. You might as well get used to it. If you like the number 77, you're going to love the high temperatures for tomorrow. That's pretty much the case across the board. Moses Lake, Ephrata, Quincy, Wenatchee. Now, a lot of this could be smoke related. We're looking at some pretty significant smoke coming to the Wenatchee Valley again tomorrow. We're under the influence of high pressure. It's a flat ridge of high pressure, not like that dome that we had earlier, but the flat ridge will still keep the smoke trapped fairly close to the surface. So everybody will be about where they should be, maybe a little warmer this time of the year. It all depends on how much of that smoke filters out the sunshine. So what's going on? Again, that cold front came in. It is gone, Johnson. It's been replaced by a ridge of high pressure. It's a flat ridge, which means it's still going to trap the smoke in, but it also will allow for a few high clouds to begin to roll in, and we're going to have some much needed rain. Not Saturday, quite pleasant. Again, a lot of it depends on how smoky we get early in the day. If we're pretty smoky early in the day, we're going to be smoky for most of the day. Clear skies in the morning, we should be okay. And then starting Sunday night, a 50% chance of rain. Bring it on. In fact, that chance of rain is going to hover right between 40 to 50% for an extended period of time. Monday, both during the day and in the evening hours, about a 50% chance of rain. Tuesday, about a 45 to 50% chance of rain. As one system comes in after the other, it's kind of a parade of systems. You notice that ridge of high pressure still kind of sitting there, but the rains will be coming in over the top of it because the high pressure is, again, flat. That allows for high clouds and rain. A chance of rain on Tuesday, a lot cooler, only 67 degrees. Chance of rain Wednesday. I wish I could say this for about a week and a half. It's not going to break our drought, but it's certainly going to tamper down the fires. And the best part about this rain event that's coming, starting Sunday night, into Monday, into Tuesday, into Wednesday, and into Thursday, with some sun breaks, best part about this is going to tamper down the fires. We're still going to be in a drought, but at least the fires will be tampered down, and there's no wind in the forecast as well. So I can't wait for Sunday night. I think I speak for everybody. So smoky and hazy and pretty dirty air for the rest of the day today. We could very well repeat that tomorrow. It depends really on what kind of headway they make on the local fires today and tomorrow. If they're able to tamper it down, maybe not too bad smoke-wise on Saturday. And then come Sunday night, here comes the rain, as the Mavericks once sung. We're going to take a quick break, and then I'm going to sit down and do sports because that's what I do. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Hi, everybody. everybody. Dan Kuntz back again, filling in for Eric Granstrom after filling in for Grant Olson. Apparently, I'm the only one alongside Jefferson who actually is doing their job today. Eugenio Suarez hit his 49th homer. That's a career best for him, and that led the way for the Mariners. They win again. They beat the Rockies last night in a big crowd. The final there was 6-2. So a day after clinching their first division title since 2001, before the game even started, the Mariners found out that they have clinched home field advantage through the first round of the playoffs.
Fly ball, left field, let it fly, Gino! Number 49 to match a career best.
Go ahead and tell you what, we've been seeing some big home runs from Gino of late. Even gone back to that road trip and just wearing out that breaking ball. Another home run into that left field bullpen off of that breaking ball inside the strike zone.
Big chopper up the middle, a flip. Throw on to first, not in time. Naylor scores. 3-0 Mariners. Cracked into center field. Canzone coming home. Garver to the plate. Randy Arozarena brings home 2 more.
I talked about Gino Suarez early on in this inning, finding something to get in that good groove. We've been struggling. Randy Arozarena trying to knock the dust off it as well. Big line drive double into left field last night. Nearly went deep to right field, and this time staying up the middle.
On the ground, left field, base hit. Naylor scores. Eugenio Suarez makes it 6-0 Seattle in the 5th inning.
And that's going to drop for a base hit. And coming home is Blaine Krim with the Rockies' first run of the night. His last time up. And he's got a single here. And Karros is going to be sent home with the Rockies' second run.
To center field. Robles is there. And the Mariners win. They are rolling. They've won 7 in a row. And the Seattle Mariners have won 17 of their last 18 games. Man, what a run by the M's.
Yeah, second consecutive sweep. That kind of gets lost in everything that's happened in this series against the Colorado Rockies here as we're wrapping up this season. But, man, what a series it has been. Clinch that playoff spot, clinch the American League West Championship. You get that today. We found out this afternoon. You get that bye past the wild card rounds. And all facets of this roster rolling. Starting pitching's been great. Offense, everything clicking here for the Seattle Mariners.
The Mariners close out their regular season tonight with 3 against the Dodgers tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday. The Dodgers and the Mariners have the exact same record. They both won their division. They're both heading to the playoffs. George Kirby starts for the Mariners. First pitch on Roost Sports at 6:40. The Seahawks let a 14-3 halftime lead slip away, but they pulled it off. A field goal in the last play of the game, and they beat them 23-20. It was not a very pleasant game to watch. The Seahawks gave up 17 straight points, including this touchdown.
4-man rush. Catch is made. Can he get to the end zone? Yes. Amari DiMarcado from 52. The kick wobbles, but makes it through. And the Seahawks win it at the gun.
Oh man, it's a great win. Really, I'm just really proud of our team and how hard we're playing, how we're sticking together, the positivity, the fight. Just a really great win. I mean, it's a short week. You're on the road. Arizona played a good game.
The Hawks are now 11-1-1 in their last 13 games in Arizona. They like playing the Cardinals. In the Cardinals, they don't play again until a week from Sunday when they host the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The big game tomorrow, the Washington Huskies, winners of 22 in a row at Husky Stadium. They got a big task. Number 1, defending national champions, Ohio State. National television, 12:30 on CBS. Go Dogs. Eastern Washington travels to Montana State. Good luck there. That'll be at 1 o'clock. You can watch that on ESPN+. I don't have it. The Cougars are at Colorado State. CBS Sports Network. Central is at Western New Mexico. No TV that we know of.
Local sports, local
sport. They got an early start on the high school weekend in Kashmir last night. The Bulldogs just took it to Wahluke. That's not a misprint, folks. That's the final score, 63-0. Connell took care of College Place. A lot of blowouts last night, and more expected today in the CSAC. Don't forget they have games on Saturday as well. Eastmont Wildcats are on the bus again. Boy, they're getting tired of that. They're down in Sunnyside. Remember, Eastmont beat Sunnyside on a block extra point last year. Coach Jay Foster told our very own Eric Granstrom that the Sunnyside quarterback is pretty good.
The quarterback is a really, really tough kid. I mean, we watched on film where there were literally a dozen hits where we were saying, if that's Peyton, I'm not sure he's getting up. You know, the kid's bigger than Peyton, obviously. But boy, he takes some shots, gets right back up, and goes and does it again. And that's Sunnyside. I mean, they've always been just tough kids, you know, and they're going to come at you no matter what. So still that group, you know, the quarterback, you can tell he's young. He's not processing things right now at the speed that you want your quarterback to do. You know, reminds me of Peyton last year. You know, when there's things there and you want him to pull the trigger and he doesn't, you know, and holds on to the ball a little too long. I just hope he waits another week before he figures it out, that's all.
Well, we were supposed to broadcast the Panthers hosting the Mavericks. That has been reversed. Air quality, as you know by now, they have moved the game out to Moses Lake, but they're still playing. The Panthers will take on the defending league champion Moses Lake Mavericks in Moses Lake. And as Coach Taylor Mitchell told our very own Eric Granstrom, the best way to upset the Mavericks is to keep their offense off the field.
Yeah, I think you got to mix things up a little bit, try to disguise coverages. Hopefully our pass rush can get after him a bit as well. And also I think limiting possessions. I think that's key in really all three phases.
Best defense is a good offense.
Yeah, absolutely. How can we slow the game down? I mean, we had the most competitive game against Moses Lake out of anybody in our league last year. And I think a big key to that was we put up points. It was 24-14, I think, heading into halftime last year against them. So offensively, we were able to move the ball, sustain some drives, put some points up, and you know we got to do that even at a larger magnitude this year with how well he's playing. So offensively, control the clock, limit possessions for them, and see what we can do.
Sorry we couldn't bring the game to you, folks. It's been one of those autumns. I don't know. It just happens. The rest of the football schedule, the Caribou Trail League, looks something like this. Now, most of these games are going to be played. Only the Wenatchee Valley has really bad air quality, so they're scheduled to kick it off. Clarkston at Omak, Cascade at Manson, Chelan at Liberty Bell. By the way, those are all non-league games for the Caribou Trail League. CWAC football, the two airs, they are all league games with the exception of one of those. Guess which one it is? I won't tell you. We'll tell you come tomorrow. The smaller school, Central Washington B, looks something like this. Again, all these games are scheduled to be played. No real smoke issues the farther up the Columbia River you go, so good luck to those teams. Soccer, they got a lot of soccer in last night. Eastmont traveled down to Yakima, the gateway to Wapato, and they took it to Davis. Moses Lake and Ephrata played to a 0-0 tie. It was a non-league game, and when they do that, they don't want to risk injury, so they don't play overtime. They just call it good. Quincy over Cascade, Kashmir, another big victory. Pateros over Omak, Brewster beat Bridgeport, Manson over Okanagan. Those were the games that were played. Here is your schedule for tomorrow. All of this may be smoke related, so stay close to your local social media to find out if some of these games are going to be canceled, delayed, or moved. The one that may actually be delayed or moved is Eisenhower and Wenatchee because it's an evening game, and as you know by now, the smoke might not be real good tomorrow. They play volleyball indoors, so no smoke issues there. Look at the scores. Everybody got swept except Eastmont. Eastmont did win a set against West Valley, but outside of that, it is all shutouts across the board. By the way, Wenatchee remains undefeated in league. Prep volleyball tomorrow. And today, pretty light. Not a lot going on there. Garden City Academy at Thorpe, of course, whenever those two teams get together on the volleyball court, you could throw the records right out the window. And don't forget about our friends at the Wenatchee Wild, their home opener tomorrow night. The first 1,000 fans through the door get a magnet schedule. If you're fan number 1,001, you're out of luck. It is the Wild and the Everett Silvertips. 6 o'clock is when they drop the puck at the Town Toyota Center. Go Wild, go Mariners, go USA in the Ryder Cup. And those are just some of the games that people are playing.
And that concludes a very hectic week for the NCWLIFE Evening News. On our Facebook page, you can find continuous live streams of the Lower Sugarloaf and Labor Mountain fires, as seen from our tower cams around the Wenatchee Valley. We'll keep that stream running as long as conditions allow. Our channel is available on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. You can also email us with news tips anytime at news@ncwlife.com, or you can call 888-6295. I'm Jefferson Robbins. Please pay attention to evacuation notices and air quality warnings and stay safe from fire and smoke this weekend. Help your neighbors to do the same. We'll see you again right here on Monday night.